couple of things I want to talk about. I just finished like an online video course thing on YouTube, and it was very, very well put. Shout out to Marcus Stratton, I think that's his name. He's this British guy who talks about behavioral change and getting rich. And the things that he said are very much in alignment with a lot of the things that I've been learning about. I've been learning about for a long time. But the more I learn about it, the more, you get it from different perspectives. I think he really helped solidify some things. And one of the things he talked about is how first of all, you have this current state of being. This is basically who you are, and there's a range of the different types of behaviors that you in that state of being are accustomed to performing, if that makes sense. So, you might have some good habits and some bad habits, and you're trying to kick the bad habits and do more of the good habits, and you keep bouncing back and struggling to do more of the good things and get away from the bad behaviors. And he talks about it like you have this, we'll call it your baseline identity. It's the identity, your thoughts, beliefs, your state of being that developed really in your childhood primarily. That's why it's so difficult to change it. That's like the core of who you are. And then you want to make a change, right? So let's say from your childhood you have this behavior that developed of, eating a certain way. You developed a certain relationship with food, and then you want to lose weight. And so trying to lose weight, trying to change the way that you live your life is essentially like creating a new identity. And the problem is, you are now this one body that is now housing two different competing identities. Right? And they are fighting for control. On one hand, consciously, you want to lose weight, you want to hit the goal. It's very obvious why. And then you start doing the work, you get there, you make some progress, and then you hit a little road bump. You hit just a little bit of adversity. And then it's like, not only are you unable to sustain the good habits, you go on this self-sabotaging streak of all your worst behavior, right? It's not like, maybe I'll just have this donut and enjoy it and enjoy my cheat meal. It turns into days, sometimes even weeks of, sometimes even months of behaving in ways that are completely against who you want to become. Because you have this old identity that kind of has its own will to live. And so it's fighting for survival just like you as an organism. And this has been classically described as, the angel and the devil on your two shoulders. Right? The tug of war in your mind between acting in alignment with the new identity that is capable and engages in the actions that gets you towards your desired state. That versus these other actions, these other behaviors that want to keep you in your familiar, old, often self-harming state of being. And he talked about some different tools for how to help the new identity win. Because the old identity has the upper hand. The old identity, they each have different tools. It's like almost two different, let's say, basketball players playing one-on-one, and they each have a very different style of play. And so they're each scoring points on each other, and then that's why you oscillate between good you and bad you. I've lived my whole life this way. So right here, right now, I'm not really in a position to go into all the details of how he describes the different tools and what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I got a text message. Yeah, right now I'm not really as I'm driving, I can't describe all the details of what he describes. But I do believe very much that this is inherent to the human condition. And I think this is what people talk about for, when they talk about manifestation. You want to manifest a new life. And how do you do that? They have to form the identity of the person who creates that life and reinforce that identity and give that identity the tools that it needs and the practices to kill the old identity. This was very famously, but I remember it's in a Kendrick Lamar lyric where he opens up, where he goes, "It was always me against the world until I found it's me versus me. You are your own worst enemy." That is life. You competing against yourself, wanting to do the right things, struggling to do the right things, sometimes doing them and sometimes not. Sometimes doing the total opposite of the right thing.